Under Gary's Shell. Written by Nirvana Dad and narrated by Nirvana Dad. Late one night, when I was a kid, I remember waking up from a dead sleep, and I couldn't get back to sleep after that, so I decided to watch some television. It was around 3:30 in the morning, I would say, so I decided I would flip through some TV channels until I could find something interesting to watch. I landed on Nickelodeon, or at the time it was still Nick at Night. However, it was playing Spongebob SquarePants, which I thought was odd for it to be on so early and so late at the same time, but ignored it because it was one of my favorite shows. But when I realized this was an episode I had never seen before, I got excited and I almost screamed, but I stopped myself and regained control. From what I remember, the episode was just starting right as the channel came on. And call me lucky, but after this, I don't think that's true anymore. This episode in question was titled Under Gary's Shell. It started with SpongeBob and his pet snail Gary. They were finishing watching what I assume was an episode of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, when SpongeBob said, "Well, time to go to bed, Gare Bear." Gary meows and then follows SpongeBob up the stairs to the bedroom. SpongeBob would then say, "What a great episode, huh, Gary? Oh man, I wish Patrick was with us tonight to watch it. What about you?" Gary meows sarcastically. "Gary," SpongeBob said, "I know Patrick can sometimes be a little loud watching TV, and yeah, he hogs the sofa and eats more of the snacks than we do, but he's still our friend nonetheless." Well, anyways, good night, Gary. Gary meows as SpongeBob passes out. Once SpongeBob's asleep, he begins to do his usual snoring. However, it lasted longer than I have ever seen it last before in an episode. I thought maybe it was a TV glitch because it just kept going on for about a good 30 seconds or longer. But then, something crazy happened. Gary opened one of his eyes, which caught me off guard. I jumped back a bit, but laughed it off. Gary meowed. From what I had to guess, he was making sure SpongeBob was asleep. He meowed once again, and then started to move out of the room. He looked back at SpongeBob one more time to make sure he was sleeping. And that's when the bubble screen indicated that it was the next scene. Gary was now outside of SpongeBob's pineapple, as he looked around for a few seconds, and then he started to slither his way down the road into Bikini Bottom. He then comes across what appears to be a homeless fish sitting by a dumpster. The fish spots Gary, and with a friendly smile he says, "Why, hello there, you cute little snail. Have you any change to spare?" Gary meows. "Oh, well, that's all right," says the fish. "I'm so hungry and cold. No one wants to help an old fish like myself these days. But no matter. That doesn't mean tomorrow won't be better." The fish smiles and winks at Gary, but Gary doesn't smile back. Gary starts to growl furiously at the homeless fish, and his eyes bloodshot red and his teeth sharp. "Whoa, easy boy. I didn't mean to offend you, and if I did, well, I'm just starving here. Surely you can understand that." Scared and confused, the homeless fish puts his hands up in a defensive stance. Gary then opens his mouth wide. The fish jumps back in horror, and he begs Gary not to do what he's about to do. But I watch in terror on the TV screen as Gary's mouth gets wider and wider. Yet before I know it, the inevitable happens. I still couldn't believe my eyes as I watched Gary begin to put the fish into his mouth, starting with his feet and his legs. Shocked and motionless, I couldn't look away. After that, the camera then swerving to the flowers in the sky of Bikini Bottom, and all I can hear in the background is Gary chewing and moaning, and I can hear the disgusting crunching noise of bone. Gary chowing down on the homeless fish can be heard. A title card then comes on the screen with the usual French narrator saying, "The next day." SpongeBob's alarm blows very loud like it always does. He opens his eyes and yawns. Good morning, Gary. Gary meows. How about some breakfast, buddy? I don't have work for another hour. Gary meows. Not hungry? Wait a minute. SpongeBob looks at his calendar next to him on the wall. He gets big-eyed and starts biting his nails. Oh no. It's that time of year again, isn't it? Gary meows. Gary, SpongeBob says. How many this time? Gary meows again. Gary, let me see. SpongeBob then opens up Gary's shell, and under it is what seems to be pure chum and dead flesh. Bones of fish and other sea life. Innocent victims of Bikini Bottom, all dead under Gary's shell. Well, I guess I should call Plankton again. I'll let him know his year's worth of chum is ready. SpongeBob then looks back at Gary and says, You know, it's funny, Gary. Plankton pays me 3 times what I make at the Krusty Krab for dead fish guts. But boy oh boy, nothing beats making Krabby Patties. He then laughs, and the episode ends. The credits come on, and I sit there with a faint expression on my face. To this day, I don't know if it was real or not, but it seems like it was. At least to me. I know it wasn't a dream. I can't prove it was real. All I can do is tell you what I know and hope that you believe me. I have never been able to look at SpongeBob or Gary the same again after watching this. And I don't think I ever will again. If you like the story, please subscribe to my channel. I'll have more stories on the way soon. Thank you, and have a great day.